Okay. So I have certain set of agenda. So let me stick to that agenda and then I'll take up the questions. I think that's better. Can you see my screen? Share screen.
Not yet.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this is the third session in this. There are some basic stuff. One is this calculation is not recommended from EPFO or any organization. So this webinar is based on my understanding, and you are free to disagree or modify any of the calculations. Anyway, I'll be sharing this Excel sheet later. So the employees, so some of the clarifications what we have as of now is the employees who have been a EPF members from even before 1st September 2014. Sorry, only those who have been EPF members before 1st of September 2014 are eligible for this option. Okay. And second is the higher pension option for EPFO will be deducting our contribution retrospectively. That means whenever we joined from that date to today. So that amount will be deducted. Not only that, even the interest on the retrospective contributions will also be deducted and it will be paid to EPS. And this amount will be deducted from our PF account. Okay, so this is the information what we have. Point to notice, more clarification and calculations of higher pension is expected from EPFO. We'll have to keep our eyes open. Okay, so let me start with this. Okay, let me continue with the Excel sheet and share what are the things that has been added. So for the benefit of some people who join only this session and not the earlier sessions, let me explain what we did earlier. So one is the date of birth. Please go on mute if there is no questions. Okay. So one is the date of birth. I'll enter my date of birth. And the second important thing is date of my first employment. Where yeah.
Sorry, Prasanna. We are still seeing PPT.
You're still seeing PPT? Oh, sorry. I shared the screen. One sec. Are you still seeing PPT or Excel sheet now?
Excel now.
Okay, good. Okay. So first is we enter date of birth. Okay. And second important thing is the day when I joined my contributing to EPS. So that we will know based on our EPF day of contribution. So that's basically our joining date. And decision is again this today's date. So when I'm going to take this call. And as per the information what we have in EPS website calculations, we can add number of days which I did not work for. Again, this is between 95 to 2014 and from 2014 onwards. Basically, these days will be deducted from the overall number of years of service. Okay. And average salary, this is a very tricky part. This is initially it was 12 months. Now they made it 60 months. Okay. So what happens to this? So let's not get into that part. So let's assume that whatever is the salary, we are putting it here. And that will be our salary. Of course, this cell is editable and I'll edit and show to you how it is going to impact. This we discussed in our earlier session, 8.33% of 6,500. It was before 2014. That was EPS contribution. That's why it was 541 rupees. And this went from employer contribution. And 8.33% of 15,000. This was later from 2014 till now. This was again considering pensionable salary as 15,000. So that's why 1250 from employer share of PF goes to EPS and the remaining will go to PF account. And 8.33% of our current salary is this, right? So this is current salary. So this is 8.33% of our current salary. Now I have removed this off because we do not require this number of months from 2014 now till now, because this has gone. So the earlier whatever we thought it's 2014 is a date, that's not a date. We can go back up to 1995. Okay, so we'll have to calculate that, and whatever is from start date of our employment till today, whatever is the arrears, we're going to pay for that. So this is the new calculation. I'll explain to you how did I calculate this figure. So this is additional money to be paid to EPS account, excluding the 1250, whatever we paid, 1250 or 541 we paid. So this is excluding all those things. So how did I calculate it? I'll explain. So that is a main part of this presentation. But before we jump on to that, so let me explain this Excel sheet for everyone's benefit. And how am I calculating year of attaining 58 years? It's just addition of my date of birth and add 58 years to that. Okay, I'll be getting on 58 years. So this Excel sheet is calculated based on assuming that we'll be retiring at the age of 58. And present value of my investment is this because I have to pay this much investment as of now. So I'm just calculating the same thing. I'm just clicking equal so that same value is here. And monthly going forward also I need to invest further, right? It's not that I'll have to stop here. So till I get my retirement, I'll have to continue investing. And how much I am supposed to invest is this much, right? 8.33% of my salary and minus this 1250. Assuming that, none of us are in a category of 6,500 or 541. If any of us fall into any of this category, then we'll have to just replace that number. So this will be my monthly additional outgo, because currently I'm paying only 1250, but now because of my salary increased and my pensionable salary is increased, my additional outgo is 11,000 rupees 245. And number of years till retirement, how it's calculated is from my date of joining. So basically up to here 2038 minus the current date minus today. Okay, minus today, and basically it's converted into days and then put back into years. So I still have 14.85 years to come to get to my retirement. So this is about this column. Now this area is required because this talks about how we used to calculate pension earlier. Right, so this is between 1995 to 2014. The number of days is 1613. If say, for example, if we did not work for 100 days or 1 or 2 months, if we just took a gap between switching the job, so we can enter here. So the data will automatically get updated. So this is simply converted into years by dividing into 365. And similarly, from 2014 to now, it's converted into number of years. And this is nothing but addition of these two. Okay, so totally 27 years of service I'll be putting if I'm going through this scheme. So pension per month as of earlier calculation is 5,400. As I said, so this has been converted close to 100. So if it is anything less than 100 is been converted into the nearest 100. So that's how we get it round figure. Around 5,400 is the pension based on our earlier calculation. A new pension, if additional money is paid, that is, if I pay this additional money, then new pension will be 58.776. That is because, as per the calculation now, that is my B8. B8 is my average last 6 months, last 6 years, last 5 years salary divided by H2. H2 is number of years of service, right? Divided by 70. That's a calculation. So this will be my new pension. So difference between my current pension and new pension is 53,000 rupees. That's basically difference between these two. And the percentage what I get is 24.4% is for deferred pension. That means this value I will be getting after this 15 years. So there are some of the products in the market available which are deferred pension as well as immediate annuity. This is not immediate annuity, so this is what I pay now, but what I get after 15 years. Okay, but I'm more interested in if what happens for whatever investment I'm making, what will be the interest rate as of today, right? So for that reason, we discussed about a consistency principle. So through this consistency principle, what I'm bringing is bringing all the calculations back to today's date, today's rates. Okay. So let me explain this later. So let's look at this part. Present value of my outgoing future out cash flows. How it has been calculated is, so this is my monthly salary. This is a present value calculation in Excel. So I'm converting everything into months. So this is a yearly interest rate, right? For our PF interest rate, assuming that 8.1%, which was for last year. So that divided by 12, that becomes my monthly interest rate. And then I have to convert my total number of years also into months. So that is my B22 into months, that is into 12. And monthly outgo is minus B21. This is my monthly outgo. So that gives me a present value of 11 lakh 63,000. What it means is all this my future contributions for next 15 years are equivalent to my present amount of this much 11 lakh 63,000. So instead of giving a money to EPF every month, this much money for 15 years, that is equivalent to giving say 11 lakh 63,000 right away. Okay, so this basic idea is to bring this value to the present value, today's calculation. That's a present value calculation. Similarly, my future pension also I need to calculate it to the present value. So that's what I have done here. So how this has been done as this is the difference, right? So this is my additional difference because I'm paying additional money. This is the additional difference of a pension what I'm going to get. So this I'm going to get after 15 years, 14.85. So basically, I'm converting this back again with the present value calculation. So that is basically this amount, right? So E15 this amount, sorry, E15, whatever is this amount, pension amount, divided by 1 plus interest, right? That is E19 is my interest, raised to the number of years, right? So this gives me present value. So that means whatever pension I'm going to get after 15 years, that is 53,379 as additional pension, that is equivalent to 16,799 today. Okay, so basically this will have a same bargaining power or same buying power today. So whatever, to put it in other way, if I can buy some of the goods worth 16,791, then I'll have to spend to get the same goods, I'll have to spend 53,379, provided my inflation rate or my return, whatever I'm going to get, is 8.1%. Okay, so now my total investment as of today in today's value is, so this much money, wherein including my interest and my all the contributions till now from my joining date, that is this much money, plus present value of my future cash flows also, I'm just adding it here. So that is nothing but sum of these two. That becomes totally I will be paying 37,93,391 to get a pension of 16,791 as of today. So the interest rate is, this is now it becomes like, since I'm talking about as of today, this is like immediate annuity rate. So this is nothing but a simple ratio because this is my monthly. I'm just calculating that to into yearly, that is multiplied by 12 divided by E22, right? So that is this figure. This is my investment. So this is how we reached at 5.3%. Okay. Now let me explain how did I get to this figure with more clarity, whatever we have now. Okay, because now this figure should include not only my contributions of earlier months plus the interest that was equivalent to PF interest. Okay, so that is a little tricky. So that means we need to get a PF interest rate every year, right? So for that reason, I went through this website from EPF India because I generally prefer to go with the original source rather than getting into any other Google references, and got all this PF contribution, PF interest rate from different years. Okay, I did not go before 1995 because anyway this rule is not going to apply. So from 1995 to 96, it was 12% was the interest that's been given to our PF, and similarly the rate started coming down. And last year it was 8.1%. This year yet to declare, but I'm just putting here as 8.1%. So this is my assumption. If it changes, then of course we can change this figure. Now, how did I calculate the total figure, right? Average monthly basic is 8 point. This is, yeah, this is what we need to enter. Since, for example, if we have shifted our jobs or, our salary kept on increasing from the year when we joined, right? We need to change this figure. If it is 8,000, 10,000, whatever it was our figure, right? We'll have to just keep changing this figure. Okay. And this is for year. If we want to make it more critical, we can add to the month also, month and date also. But I think this is a rough ballpark figure should be good enough for us to take a decision. So that's why I'm just keeping it 2 years. So what we are seeing here is for every year, right? What was my salary? This is the average salary per month. Okay. Average monthly basic, because For PF contribution, we always considered basic and DA. Okay, and most of our situation DA, instead of DA, we just went with the basic part. Correct. So this is my basic for all these years, and assuming that as of now my basic is 15 lakh rupees. Sorry, 1.5 lakh rupees. So this 1.5 lakh, I have to assume that this is going to remain same for 60 months. Okay. If that assumption is not true, then of course we'll have to recalculate it. But at least we need to make some assumptions, otherwise we'll not be able to calculate anything. So that is the reason I'm just sticking to it. Okay, this is 1,50,000 or whatever is this figure, right? 1,20,000. We can just change this figure. All you have to do is just go here and change this figure. And accordingly, what happens here is, so this was our earlier contribution to EPF for earlier EPF, not EPF, earlier EPS contribution. Okay, EPS contribution. So this was 541 earlier till 2014, and afterwards it's 1250. So now I have to, since I'm calculating my basic with my actual one, I have to recalculate my contribution, and I have to deduct this whatever I contributed to EPS. So that's what I have done here. This EPF amount into 8.33% of pensionable salary for the year. For the year, that is why I'm just multiplying it with 12. Okay, because this is a monthly salary, multiplying it with 12. So this is a contribution which I'm supposed to pay back, which I was supposed to pay back, right? So now accumulated value without interest. Okay, yeah, this is accumulated value without interest. Is now anyway there's no interest part, so I'm just using the same thing. But if you see here, right, so this is F6 plus E7, that is this figure plus E7. So that means the last year, whatever is my yearly contribution plus this. Okay. And this is nothing but, as we can see here, okay, let me take this example. For example, whatever we are seeing here, the total value minus D8. Minus D8. Okay. So there is one mistake here, D8 into 12 months, right? Because I'm converting this into yearly. Let me make it 12. Okay. So this will be D8 into 12 everywhere. Okay. All right, I'll change the formula. Okay. Only thing is, since we considered it monthly, so we'll have to just make it like yearly. Okay. So I'm deducting this, my whatever I paid earlier, this monthly contribution. Since everything I'm converting into years, I deducted everything from this. So this is additional money I'm supposed to pay back. Okay. To EPS. Now, not only this, the condition is we have to pay the interest part also, accumulated interest also, right? So for that reason, what I have done here is, so you see here, accumulated value with interest. How did I calculate it is, first is this much, right? So G5 plus, sorry, let me take here. This is G6 plus E7. This was for last month, whatever I had contributed, plus E7S for this year's calculation, this year's contribution, and this is the total sum. And for this total sum, the interest for this year, right, that is 11.25%. That is in B7. So basically, this is my principal and this is my additional interest. Okay, so that's how I'm calculating here. So the same thing applies everywhere till the end. So this gives me a figure of 20,74,356. If I started my job in 2000 and 2001 with this being my basic. Okay. So now this same figure is being taken here. Whatever is this final figure is being taken here for the new calculations, right? You can see this is basically directly equating it with that value. Okay. So I'm having it here. Now, how do we conclude? As if my date of birth is 1980 and I am going to retire in 2038, okay, my year of retirement, that's up to 58 years, and I make all these contributions as we discussed, this plus my future contributions, okay, of 9 lakh 5,000, total of 29 lakh something, and my present immediate annuity rate is 5.3%. Is it good? Is it bad? Right? So there's a trick here. Not trick. I mean, this 5.3% will not apply for all. As I said, there are important parameters that will vary. One, of course, as we know, is the average salary. Correct? Last 6 months. last 6 years, last 5 years. And another one is about my date of birth. If my date of birth is earlier, right? For example, let me put it like 0101 and 1968, for example. Okay. Now, as you can see here, all my calculations change because why it is changing is because now only I have less than 3 years to retire, and my present value contribution, whatever this 8.1%, if I'm going to continue on this, my return will be 9.7%. Okay. So if I had started earlier, right, not 2010, but if I had started earlier, okay, 2000. So here the care needs to be taken. We have to update it here also, right? Sorry, yeah, here is already updated. Yeah, both these values should be same. Whatever I'm entering it here, 2000, same value I need to enter here also. Year part, okay? Now, if this is the case, if I'm born in 1968 and I joined in 2000, okay, that is this year. And if I had joined earlier, then I have to put this figure earlier, okay? And if I contribute total of, I have to contribute now 23 lakh 39,000. Now my immediate annuity rate is 16.4%. 16.4% is a fantastic annuity rate because no other product at this stage will give me this as an annuity rate. Okay. And again, as I said, so this is not a fixed rate. It also varies based on how much is my annual salary and when did I join. Basically, these two are very important criteria. Most important criteria is when did I born, right? What was my date of birth? So basically, if I'm close to my retirement, then this seems to be a interesting and favorable outcome. But if I have joined recently, or I'm born of after 1980 or something, then this may not look that attractive. Okay, so that is the overall stuff. Okay, it may not look that attractive. Okay, if I'm say after this, then this figure may still go down. So this is the overall calculation, and let me address some of the questions what were raised earlier. Then I'll take other questions. Okay. So you are still seeing the presentation now?
Yes, Prasanna, PPT now.
PPT. Okay. So these are the questions what I received, Mahesh. What could be the corpus deduction from existing amount? So this I think we talked about. Okay. Going forward, including interest amount. So this calculation I've shown how it's been done. And SIP now and SWP later, opting which one is better. So this is not a straightforward answer. First of all, it depends on when is my date of birth. Am I close to my retirement or not? That is one parameter which we need to consider. And the second parameter is how much corpus I have, how much money I have as of now. For example, for some people, if we calculate whatever 26 or 28 lakh, that may be a very big amount. Correct. If my all my savings till my retirement is only 50 lakh, then out of that 25, 26 lakh is gone. Then almost around 55, 60% is gone. And for other emergencies or anything in case if I need my money, then I'll be left with very less amount of money. Suppose instead of that, if my corpus is already around 2 CR, right? Then I don't mind keeping this 25, 26 lakh or 30 lakh here because it is going to fetch me an attractive annuity rate. Okay, so that's how the calculation is to be. And the third one is if someone opts for early retirement, then how it's going to happen, right? So for this, in the earlier calculation, as of for EPO of EPS website, if you go there and there is a calculation, if we are retiring before 58, then what is the penalty we are going to get, right? Basically, that is some amount they have to deduct because we are not getting into deferred annuity, but we are getting into immediate annuity part. So for that, the calculations is already there, but that may change. So that is the reason I did not want to bring it here because whatever their earlier calculations, they are going to change. So that's the reason I did not bring it here. We'll have to wait, but it will be like a simple calculation will be like a present value of my contribution, my pension, whatever amount I was going to get later. So if what we have to consider the interest rate of PF or whatever it is, then we have to calculate what will be the present value. The difference between these two will be the additional money EPS wants us to forego. or basically instead of getting that 50,000 or 53,000 pension, it wants us to settle for say 45 or 46,000. So how much is that? Exact calculation is not here. But yes, I mean, as of now, you can get an indicative calculation of EPS. And once the things are clear, we may bring in that figure as well. Okay. So now open for discussion. So this is all I wanted to convey, and I'm happy to address any questions now.
Prasanna, thanks. Mahesh here.
Yes.
This annuity, the EPS pension that is getting paid, um, just to confirm one more time, if the person who is supposed to get this pension is, I mean, for any incident not there, then spouse will get only 50% of
50%.
the.
That's right. And
And post that, there is no corpus that is getting into children. It is gone, right?
no,
Yeah.
children will get 25%. Up to two children, two people will get 25 each, 25%.
But then I also read it is up to their age of 25.
I did not see that, the per age, but in EPS, maybe I think we can check that again. So whatever I
Yeah.
remember, it
So
was
I have read
25%.
somewhere.
Okay. Now, my
So
suggestion is directly go to EPS website. So there is available
yeah.
information,
No,
and we can get that figure.
sorry, Prasanna. So my intention is that there is no corpus that is coming to kids later. It is only the
Yes,
pension,
yes,
like 50,
obviously.
25. Yeah.
Correct, correct,
So
correct.
once that is done, assume that 25 years of age for the kids, then there is nothing that is going to go for kin. Correct?
Okay, okay, yeah. That's the
Yeah.
purpose
I
of
mean,
pension, right?
no. So sorry. The reason I am bringing that for the discussion is, Prasanna, if we are opting for SAP versus SWP later, the SWP route, then the corpus is still sitting there with us.
Correct, yeah. Yes, yes. We
So
have the
I'm only
liquidity, we
trying.
can use. Yeah.
Correct. I'm only trying to call out that point, the major difference where we have corpus left with us there,
Correct,
not
correct,
here.
correct. That's true, that's true. But you know what?
Right.
For example, if the calculation shows that, the return is 16% guaranteed, annuity here, right? Immediate annuity. Then, and if we already have around say 2 CR, 3 CR, whatever is the figure, right? So
Right.
then this amount may not look 20-30 lakh may not look that big. So it may give a peace of mind saying that anyway I'm going to get 50-60,000 rupees, so why not, right? So those kind of decisions
Got it.
can be taken. Yeah.
Got it, Prasanna. Thank you. I am done with my questions.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. So if there are no questions, I'm closing it off. So I'll share the link, and if there are any further questions, then we can discuss them later. Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Prasanna. Appreciate your patience.
Thank you.
Thanks, Prasanna.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Prasanna. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.